5.
Jesus Christ, Mike, you beg me to let you open for a week, and then the first thing you say is fuck you to Kath, who did nothing wrong, who
I
only
don't know what
loved
this
you.
is about.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
She just
Kat,
said,
do you know what he's talking about?
No.
Yeah. Also, if someone said a number, Mike, why would that be cause to swear at someone? Like,
Yeah,
you know,
it's
you come up to a child, you say, "Oh, it's your birthday. How old are you?" "I'm 11. Fuck you!" Like, is that how you go about living your life, Michael?
You yell at children,
Michael. This is a birthday party.
How could you?
You're ruining my 11th birthday, Michael.
Jeez, Mike, what did numbers ever do to you?
Yeah.
My microphone was not on.
Wow. So fucking
Brutal.
professional.
Probably for the best, so that people didn't hear how much you hate children and hate birthdays.
Hate children, hate birthdays, hate Kath, your dear best friend.
your court-mandated best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, yeah, it's probably for the best that all of this just hasn't made it onto the internet.
We're
It's
sorry.
recorded forevermore.
You know what?
We are so sorry.
You know, that's it, Mike. Done. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Star Trek Iskandar, starring me and Emily and Kath and no one else, because that guy is mean to kids and best friends and doesn't respect anyone. Just think of a person, he doesn't respect them. Yeah, that means he doesn't respect Hitler, but it also means he doesn't respect you, specifically you. So, you know,
Or
Not
puppies.
you.
He doesn't respect puppies.
he doesn't. I mean, puppies aren't really worthy of respect. They're so dumb. No, I love them so much, but yeah, I don't respect their authority.
puppies.
You can respect them. Even
No.
this-
Respect the little snuffy movie.
No, it's like
Little
someone saying respect this
faces
kitten.
and their little gangly
I
legs.
don't. This kitten has no authority in this circumstance. I do not respect them.
I think you'd obey a kitten.
I'd obey a kitten, but not out of respect.
Fear of tiny claws and teeth is like respect.
Anyway.
This is so cute. I'll do what it wants.
So that being said, welcome to part 3, which was supposed to be the finale, but Mike now tells us it's not going to be. So another lie in Mike's string of
Abuses,
lies,
violations of human rights.
violations of human rights, mistreating us, lying, swearing at Kath and also children. Part 3 of episode 14, The Midst of Chaos, where we find various ships in the world of the USS Iskandar about to do battle, glorious battle, or just regular battle. We haven't decided yet. Let's see where the dice may fall. Apart from that, things are nothing more to say. I've been very ill, so I have done nothing that I said I would do between this session and the last session. So helps and hinders still cost real cash and not fun bunks. That was supposed to be bucks, and I said bunks, but you know, fun bunks. Whatever that is, answers in the comments. What is a fun bunk? Bear in mind that I have the mod actions. Updates, the most recent 3 words that have been permitted by the mods are turd, fetish, and asshole. Make of that what you will.
You may or may not get bonus points if you combine all 3.
Boners. And that being said, thank you, Michael Bowman, for your continued support for the subscriptions of the various members of the Trash Crew and Extended Trash Fam. That's not part of my intro. I just noticed it and I thought I'd mention it. But also, we should all take a moment just to be grateful for Michael Bowman, who's just an all-round good egg.
Absolutely.
And that being said, I'm going to hand over to our GM, who hopefully has calmed down from his frankly outlandish outburst of earlier, and is going to take control of this situation and hopefully of the consequences of his own actions. Over to you, Mike.
I thought you were going to say like fuckface or something.
No, Mike, because I
swearing.
don't swear at my friends.
You don't.
Who are just trying to help.
Uh-huh. Nito Bobito.
You're being super bold immediately ahead of like fights, which are notoriously bad.
Yeah. Sorry, are we meant to set things up so things go well for us?
No, but
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just gonna post something in the spoiler chat
Acting,
on Discord.
acting like I don't like the suffering.
Yeah.
Gotta get something posted in the spoiler chat mid-game.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
What the fuck?
Well, it would be a spoiler. Spoilers. Mike's a. I mean, that would be a spoiler.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
not a spoiler. We all know
Wow.
It's
So-
a classic, but it's coming back.
that.
That is a classic. So,
Yeah, that is a classic.
when we last left our heroes, the USS Iskandar was accompanying a convoy of civilian scientific vessels into the Hackett Expanse. Hackett being the Cardassian word for chaos, hence the title of this story. The story, of course, being an adaptation of Convoy SE-119 by Jim Johnson. Thank you, Jim, for doing the hard work, so I didn't have to. In the Hackett Expanse, having Ensign Adam Strange, having temporarily been assigned to the Tovos in a sign of good faith, was following an explosion in the major impulse engine, there we go, areas of engineering, confined to a cell, deemed to have been the culprit behind weakening the Tovos' defenses against the electromagnetic eddies that continuously threaten all vessels in the expanse. The situation got very, very tense between Gul Sonnet Nido of the Tovos and Captain Nadari. Always get it wrong. Athan of the USS Iskandar.
Michael, I know we bully you. Are you okay?
I'm just Chuck.
Do you need us to say soothing things to you?
Just gentle
We
whale
won't, but
songs.
Aw,
you need to.
Michael. Oh.
Oh,
Oh. No. There.
yeah.
There. You've got.
Yeah.
Come on, Michael.
Come on, Michael.
Come on,
Come on.
Michael.
Mike,
Come on.
Come on.
come on.
Just as things
Come
were
on,
getting
Michael.
tense, and as a away team was sent to negotiate the return of Adam Strange to the Iskandar, 3 vessels came out of the swirling eddies that surround this area of space. One of which made for civilian vessels, one of which made for the Tovos, and one of which made for the Iskandar. When we left it, the Iskandar were preparing to ready actions. The Tovos is in no fit state, as the players can now see, being privy to the Tovos' character sheet. But Talandra and Zal were heading onto a shuttle, the idea being that they can boost the Tovos' capacities in some way. So, we are hitting ship combat. There are 2 phases to ship combat, the orders phase and the maneuvers phase. The orders phase is when the crew can all act. Traditionally, there will be orders given by the commanding officer, and then the crew of the ship will then act out those commands. And this is all really to build up advantages that the ships then can use within the ship phase of combat. Because this is not ship on ship, NPC versus NPC, we have 3 player ships to go. We will be doing the orders phase together, going in the order of the Iskandar, the shuttlecraft, the Tovos, and then the enemy vessels, and then we'll be going back around Iskandar, the shuttlecraft, the Tovos, and the enemy vessels during the maneuvers phase. I hope that makes sense. It seems to be the best way to do this. So, kicking us off on board the USS Iskandar. Captain, what are your orders?
Just for me to be sure of the state of the battlefield. God, I feel like for once we need a map. We have the Tovos, which is more or less dead in the water.
Mm-hmm.
We have our 6 convoy ships, which are returning still.
Yes, they have dropped out of warp and are within sight.
Yes, because we
Okay,
told them to
but
carry on to get away.
No, we told them to
And
get
then we
behind
told them
us.
to come back. Sorry, yes,
Yeah.
I meant initially when we had the problem with the Tovos, we told those convoy ships to get a bit of distance.
Oh yes, no, we
And
told
then
them to
when-
get a distance from the Tovos, and then yeah.
Trouble appeared. We want them to basically form up on the Tovos. Was our plan, but they are presumably still en route.
They are en route.
Okay, then our priority is the civilian ships. What are the 3 at this point? What are the 3 enemy ships doing?
What is most notable from immediate sensor arrays is that they have split into 3 and they are traveling to each group, 1 to the Iskandar, 1 to the Tovos, 1 to the civilian ships. They are shields up and they are readying weapons.
Okay. Then Kantos, get us back to the convoy ship at all haste. If we take any weapons fire on our shields, but our priority is going to be trying to draw the fire from the ship heading to them and reuniting with the convoy. We're going to have to leave the Tovos to fend for itself and protect the convoy while we can.
Hi, Captain.
Guess what? So yeah, what Athan wants the ship to do is go hellbent full leather for the convoy ship. The Iskandar will be aiming to open fire on the baddies who are coming for the convoy, whilst tanking any damage coming for Iskandar
Excellent.
as we try to draw aggro. Like, also, Athan is gonna, open a channel on unidentified ships. This is Captain Athan of the Federation starship Iskandar. Stop what you are doing, turn around, and leave. Or if you identify yourselves, we can discuss this situation. However, if you proceed, we will use all necessary force to defend ourselves. Just not really expecting them to do anything.
There is certainly no immediate response.
Can we recognize those ships?
Yeah.
Give me a history roll. I think would be the
Law?
law. Yep.
I'm good at that. Where's my...
Can I make the law check as well?
You can. Yeah.
Ooh, pick me.
Ooh,
Everyone can.
7!
7 is extremely strong.
Does the ship nerd know things about ships? Oh, they might.
3.
3 is good.
I've probably only got 3 because I can't imagine Cantos has points in law. That's a nerd skill for nerds.
Hey.
Yeah, just 3.
All right. So for the 3s,
I mean,
It's-
presumably you were rolling that law as Salandra, so nerd skill for nerds.
Hey. I'm cool.
for the 3s, these are fairly bog standard vessels. Particularly, they're mostly freighters. No real clear distinct origin, much like the civilian ships are kind of a mishmash of varying different types, borrowing from Starfleet designs and Vulcan designs and everything. These seem to be sturdy freighters of no clear distinction.
But are they like Federation civilian construction? Are they Cardassian civilian construction?
You would put them more along Federation.
Okay.
However, for Athan, this is where your 7 comes in. These are very custom built ships. You can see a large amount of modifications to them. In particular, each one of these ships has a ring-like array around its hull. It doesn't extend too much away from the hull itself, but there is something encircling the hull, and that's the only real unifying thing of all 3 ships. This, as you spot it, it catches your eye because it's not a part of any standard design that you would see. So that is definitely not Federation and seems unique to these vessels.
Lieutenant Casey, do a scan of those ships. I want to see if we can get any identification on the profile of their construction. They appear to have undergone modifications. Maybe there's something there that we can exploit. And thus I will conveniently put Casey into an eventual info dump scenario rather than asking him to statistically contribute to the fight.
Wonderful.
My stream is just suspended. I don't know if it's just my internet connection or someone else's.
Let's have a look. See. No, this one
Cool.
still running as far as mine's concerned.
I just was wary with Mike's internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I seem to be okay. Knock on wood.
Yes, so then orders are fly fast, shoot well, tank well. I know that sounds very obvious, but each for a specific purpose.
All right.
INB likes these orders.
Let us go round. So, Kantos, can you do a create advantage using pilots?
Let's see if they can. 3.
On a 3, you can create an advantage with 1/3 invocation.
Do you want me to keep track of?
You can do. There is also a section.
Yeah, it's something on the ship sheet because we're
On the
going to
ship
be
sheet,
keeping track
yeah.
of different ships and which ship has what. So
It's very true.
I'm just gonna use paper because I'm gonna be the one rolling for the Iskandar. So
yeah, I'll put them on here.
so we have.
Is there a
pilot one.
different advantages section for each of the 3 ships?
That can be. Let me create
Probably
that
a
for
good
you.
idea.
It is a very good idea.
Good bookkeeping is important in your tabletop gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Rules help control the fun.
Give me this. Give me this. And then
Okay.
I'll
And
do
then
it.
I'll move this over here.
Wait. Aha.
All right. So yes, you've created a advantage with 1/3 invocation from your piloting. This can be called something like in position, something to denote that you
Yeah.
speed.
Also, if we fret too much about naming the advantage created every
Yeah, we're
round,
going to be here all day.
Yeah.
I'm going to give them dumb goblin names.
That's
Go fast.
Got to go fast. What other issues
It's
were
called
issued
Ship
by?
Go Zoom.
I would like for Reyes to do an engineering roll to prepare for tanking some weapons fire for boost, like all power to the deflectors kind of bullshit.
Wonderful.
As I yell at her from that's a 7 on engineering.
Holy shit. On a 7, you create a situational aspect with 3 free invocations.
It is called Fat Shields, yo.
I love
Fat
it.
is spelt with a PH.
It has to be.
Nice. Of
They're
course.
Very cool.
But what other way would we spell it?
That's how the word goes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so yeah, we wanna draw enemy fire and join up with the convoy and leave the Tovos to its miserable fate. It's sad about
Wonderful.
Strange and Dad, but the bitch will die. So
I'm on the
oh, and
Tovos.
Burov, I forgot. I'm sorry. It's sad about that Strange, Dad, and Burov will
And
die.
as far as Athana's concerned, her Falcon support mum.
I think she's probably noticed a shuttle launch.
Ah, good.
Everything of value has jettisoned.
Oh, good. Taladra has left the Cardassian death box and
and
put itself
so-
into.
No,
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 so there's
but
also
it's
left
not-
the
No, so
Cardassian.
so the shuttle docks to the ship and she's like, Talandra, you survived. Oh, it's Al's here. Ah.
That's also true. Taladra has left the Cardassian death trap and entered into a flying cardboard box.
Speaking of the flying cardboard box, the shuttlecraft, which I have named the Alinda, because I like the idea that our shuttlecrafts have names too. It's not technically a runabout, but I don't give a shit.
Shuttles have names. The Voyager
hell
shuttles
yeah.
often weren't given, like, it weren't mentioned, but they do have names.
Plus, I like it because it's like the mythological version of our shuttle having a job in HR.
Talandra,
Linda,
you
she's fun.
This is fun, Linda. She's quirky.
The shuttle has fun mom energy.
She's got a mug that says "Don't talk to me before I've had my warp core juice."
Don't talk to me before I've had my antimatter.
That's better.
I actually want that on a mug now.
You are the commanding officer of the Alinda, a crew of 2. As has been stated, and it is reflected in the ship stats, the Tovos is basically dead in the water. So what you are effectively doing is acting as the Tovos' eyes and ears, so she might defend herself.
Yep, I think what Talandra is basically going to do is open up the shuttle's arrays, make good use of the fact that we are a science vessel, so we have pretty good sensors, and we'll be relying on like doing the equivalent of flying just with the windscreen, but like it's still Star Trek. She's flying with minimal sensors because, this isn't Star Wars.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, oh, quick, we need a new spanner. It's like, no, everything must be laser. So she is, she's flying the ship as best she can. And will be, I think, relying on reacting to threats to the Tovos. But also ensuring that nothing breaks the constant stream of information that is going to the correct departments. Like Talandra is taking advantage of the fact that she's not a target early on to like make sure that the feeds are going to the right stations on the Tovos. So it's not just an info dump.
Interesting.
She's calibrating.
I think that this... I almost want to call it an ops check, but I don't think it will be.
Feels like it is.
Yeah.
It's taking data from a lot of disparate sources, but fundamentally it's just about organizing.
Yeah, we'll call it an ops check. And the idea behind that, of course, is you're going to create this aspect, and because it's going to be free invocations, whoever needs those boosts can pull from those sensor readings, so it can act defensively as well as...
So just for my brain early on, I'm rolling the dice, I'm adding my ops to the ship's ops.
Nope, it is just you. In the crew phase, it is only the character sheets of our characters are being used.
That's a +4 then.
Hell yeah. That creates it with 1 free invocation. So we'll make a note of that. Open sensors, 1 free invocation. And yes, is there anything that you want Zal to be doing in this period?
I think Talandra's orders will be to target... I guess it's kind of pre-targeting in case they send out any quantum torpedoes or anything that we can try and pick off. They're going to have to stay fairly reactive, I think, as a vessel.
Absolutely.
It might be worth dropping them down below the Tovos in the initiative order, just for future rounds.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
A lot of what she does is going to be dependent on what the Tovos does.
Yeah, it's certainly important for this round that they go first, but I don't see the harm in playing second fiddle to the Tovos in the future. And that is absolutely fine. We roll around to aboard the Tovos. Now we get to roleplay. Gulnido is standing very...
So before we get into the dynamics of the scene, just so that I know what's there, what is the state of her bridge crew? Like, is everyone who looks like they should be at a station, or are there like people not at stations or children at stations?
There is one person missing from a station. I have not specified that station. I think dramatically we can pick which one that was, but it was mentioned in the previous episode that there was someone unconscious at a console.
Cool.
So one station is unmanned. She looks at this array. Her first order is to ready weapons, hail them, and it is that order. The comm goes out. She says, "Unidentified vessel. This is the Tovos. You will identify yourselves, or we will not be held responsible for the consequences." That rings out, and there is equally no response. She looks to the console that is unmanned, and then barks like in some direction. What is the status of our shields? Another Cardassian on the bridge says, half capacity. She chews at her jaw thoughtfully.
Elrad will move to the empty station.
If we are, if there is a gently roleplay space for battlefield roleplay, then I think this is probably the time that Talandra communicates that she's in position, and that she should be feeding data to the ship. And she'll say, I encourage you to share your status in kind with my vessel so that we can best target our approach.
Open those channels. She then looks over her shoulder at, let me pull my cheat sheet of names, Sotvel, the engineer of the Tovos, and says, get down to engineering. He trots out of the bridge.
We're going to want to try to use anything we can to have them, to pin them in place. Right now, our maneuverability is very limited. Bill.
I am open to suggestions.
What's the status of our maneuvering thrusters? Our impulse is down, but can we turn?
A nearby bridge officer says, we have full turning capacity. She goes, great, we can spin.
What station has Elrad taken? We guess it's not comms.
No, I imagine it's going to be like the security. I think it's something that gives him oversight of weapons and shields.
Okay, so he's taken tactical, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. For shield arrays at half capacity, if we're only fighting one, what I can do is make sure that we're distributing our shields in accordance with their location.
Make it happen.
There are a few methods I can do. At the very least, it might include juggling quite a lot of our power array. So frankly, I want engineering for us to be as flexible as possible in that. Where our systems are limited, but redistributing where our energy is going to be key for us to use what we have to bring to bear.
Glenvale, what is the situation with our engineering capacity? Glenvale's voice comes over the comms. Limited capacity because of the damage that has been conducted down here. If you give me time, she cuts him off. What time do you think we have? She's got this trait where she'll like stare at a point on a console and chew her inner cheek when she's thinking things through. That cheek is getting attacked right now by her teeth.
I'm going to do for the moment is try to target them at long range with as many precision shots as I can. And before that, they end up in a position where their maneuverability is a considerable higher advantage in limiting our targeting vectors.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Assuming we don't have forever for the scene, I will make a. He's good at pew pew. He's a good pew pew. Well, that's nothing on the dice. That's a 5.
5. So you create an aspect with 2
Very
free implications.
shooty.
Very shooty. Hell yeah.
Obviously,
Glenvell.
while they're at range, he's hoping he can make a good few precision shots before they're at the point where, like, our angle is a bitch.
Good news is Glenvell rolled absolutely garbage, and so there is no aspect advantage being created from the engineering side of things. That is the
'cause he's a
situation.
dick.
He's a dick. I hate him.
In fact, as that pops up, Elrad will go, this would go easier if we had a good engineer on the bridge.
She says, damn it. And she gets about halfway through the second damn it, which is going to be louder and more punctuated as we move suddenly into the maneuvers phase. The Iskandar.
Alrighty.
A ship has readied its weapons and is coming at you, looking ready to fire.
However, that's the one which wants a piece of us and not the one which wants a piece of them.
Yeah.
All right. Hold steady, Lieutenant Kantos. Full speed ahead. Let's just take this blast. And
Hi, Captain.
I want to tank this defensively to not in the slightest bit diminish any of our speed in getting to the other ship / the convoy. So I'm assuming I'll
Full
be
speed
making,
ahead. Ignore the other ships. Just go, go, go.
I guess I'll be making an engineering check.
Engineering check. You will need to beat a 4.
Okay, well, we're going to start using one of those free engineering advantages with a reroll.
Oh,
That's much more like it, as that equals it, and so I will use a second to exceed it as the... I'm just taking over here. As the Iskander puts all power to the shields, blazes right past, probably taking a whole load of phaser fire on them, but our shields are going to hold. They're going to recharge as we careen straight the fuck past them with Cantos not even blinking. Just keep going straight and fast.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like in my head, like what I could see is, the Iskander, like flying past, pew pew pew, like glinting off the shield, and it just goes.
Yeah. But you'll also learn from just the way that this ship fires. What it is firing is a volatile long-range torpedo. It is basically the kind of thing that if you sneeze on it, it will detonate, which is perhaps great.
I'm thinking bold choice in the Hackett Expanse.
That
seems to be made entirely out of electromagnetic sneezes.
it does speak volumes. We'll go with the Linda. It is your maneuver phase. The commanding officer gets
Sorry,
one.
do we not get an attack
Oh,
opportunity?
you do. Yes, forgive me. I do apologize.
That's okay. As I want to pew pew the ship that's heading for the convoys to hurt them, but also potentially draw their fire.
Do it.
Is part of the goal. So, phasers is also still amazing. That I will use the pilot advantage of ship go zoom to suggest that we have covered the distance, and that's a 4 on the phasers.
That beats it by 1.
Hell yes.
Draw some fire.
The phaser rifle, no. Photon torpedoes, no.
It'll be our phaser strip. Phaser banks.
Phaser banks. There we go. I knew the word was out there. It's even
It'll
written
go
on.
whoops.
Yeah. And
Is that
you
how we take our security staff and strap them to the outside of the ship with phaser rifles?
you score
Simulate
into their
this.
shields. Yes. That ends your phase in the maneuvers. The shuttlecraft maneuvers phase. Commanding officer gets to make one roll depending on what you are trying to do.
Oh.
This is random cool shit, I think, from the list that is on the thing.
Random cool shit.
In many ways, I think this is going to be either a piloting check or an engineering check, because this is essentially the defensive round against oncoming fire, but you are acting as the Tovos' defense in this moment.
So I'm not adding my own personal roll.
No, in the maneuvers ship phase, you are using the ship stats. So you'll be using either the +1 on the pilot or the +0 on the engineering. But you have advantage of using all of the free invocations that are on the field at the moment.
In which case that's a 2 for pilot, and just chuck on any free invocations that are going spare if they're going to be wasted otherwise.
They are on a 4. So I would suggest on what you have done, I would use the free invocation on open sensors to re-roll to try and get that number up.
Very well.
Although, bear in mind, that's already a +3 on the dice to get a 4. Sorry, what did you get on the dice? Sorry, did you get a 2?
I don't know, re-rolled now.
Oh, okay, never mind.
What is the new number?
It's a flat even, so that's a +1.
Oh, yeah.
No, hell no. That's bad.
I gave you bad advice.
I think you did. I think that they had a 2 previously, and spending the free invocation for a plus, which
for a plus 2 would have equaled.
Yeah.
No, you're quite right. And so we will take that first roll, and we will not spend that free invocation. I am a doo-doo head, and do not listen to me.
No, you need to spend the free invocation to equal it.
Yeah,
it's still lower.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it does not get hit.
I do what Kath says.
Sorry.
No, sorry. There is a difference between someone who's a rules lawyer and like a rules helper. Like, sometimes you need a lawyer. Like, you're a rules defense attorney.
A vessel moves to take a pot shot at the Tovos. Your hard work on the various sensor arrays allows you to not only feed that information back to the Tovos, but you're in a position where you can basically intercept the shots and take it and give the Tovos enough maneuverability to not get hit that round. You're doing it. It is good.
Might I point out, though, if then the enemy got a matched the defense roll, then the enemy has a free boost against the shuttle. That's the consequences. But that's a bonus for their future rolls, and thus for now, the shuttle has probably successfully drawn some fire. In fact, that's probably the boost.
I'd say that the way that works is the enemy ships, when it gets to their maneuvers phase, have a free invocation against the shuttle.
Yeah. They've noticed.
They'll be like,
you have pinged.
Oh, a shuttle. Well,
we get a shot of like a dingily lit bridge, a console, the Tovos very clearly marked in nice vector art, and then the little blip showing up, and some non-English words being spoken by unseen people waving their hands at consoles. Very dramatic.
Subtitles.
It's like, there's a fucking shuttle there. Whoa. Holy shit, look at that shuttle. God damn.
Who are these guys?
I see we got the Backstroke of the West version of the subtitles.
Hey. Swing around to the Tovos. The orders from the captain were primarily to try and get engineering up and running so that we can, move a little, maybe defend ourselves. And I think unless there is a justification for that coming from Mr. Elrad, then it'll probably be coming from their shitty Glyn.
Well, Elrad isn't overruling the engineering situation, but he did tell her to shoot them and create an advantage.
That also will happen. Yes, I got my phases mixed up, really. They are going to take a shot. Pew! It's pretty good. And
they have two free invocations of a very shooty one, as Elrad has been, getting them some excellent targeting.
Yeah, they are sitting.
Coming from the Olinda.
They are sitting on a 6, and their target is sitting on a 3. So they've beat it by 3, but in the very spirit of this captain and what she's about, she's going to use one of those 3 invocations to boost it by 2, bring it up to an 8. As
it's use them or lose them in ship combat, like
yeah. 6.
That's what. Is there a reason
7,
for her not
8.
to use both?
Yeah, why not? Fuck it, do it. So that brings it up to a 10. So it's gonna go on hull stress. That was good. 10, 9, 8, 7. It's got to deal with 7 stress right now. So it's gonna take that as a minor and a moderate because it's got. Wait, no, minor. It has to take a major. Yeah. So we're gonna burst its fucking shields and wreck its blank.
Say wreck its flank or wreck its blank?
Blank. I dropped a word for there are factors about the ship you do not know. Another exciting dingy bridge shot. Consoles sparking, people being thrown about, panicked voices, a beleaguered looking, stressed looking captain kind of gripping onto their chair, gesturing wildly. That vessel looks like it's not got long left on this planet, in the galaxy. It will soon perish. We can roll around the USS Iskandar. For context, you have been able to. Nope, something else needs to happen. The other guy needs to take a ship.
They need to have their focus go.
No, I think we let Mike finish what he was saying. I think he has the right idea.
No, we get shot at.
we get the Tovos needs to take. I was going to say a pounding, but
Yeah.
Welcome to the Chuck Tingle edition of Star Trek Iskandar.
pounded in the ass at the Hackett expanse.
The Tovos is taking a
Pounding.
yes, a 7 on a phasers roll.
Time to roll that physique, Captain.
Get that physique
Get better
going.
than a +4 on the dice. And we have no advantages.
Nope. So 7, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3. So it can take that at least on the hull stress. In terms of difference.
Just as well, because for viewers, the Tovos does not have many conditions left that it can take. It's stress, then it's bad times, then it's night time.
I would say that every ship has those 3 states, but the bad time stretch is very brief. It only has 1 consequence box, where, say, the Iskandar has 3. The other 2 consequences boxes for the Tovos are reflective of the damage it has already taken. It is not a well ship, and it is. There's a jolt. People stagger away from consoles. A number goes out on like percentage of shield capacity lost to add drama. Then bad guys that are going for the civilian ship are going to do a shoot at the civilian ship. They do pretty well on a 3, 4, 5. So let's see how that ship defends. It matches it! Hey!
Go, Convoy.
We get a shot of the bridge of the SS Curtis with Bertrand Vaughan saying, "Not on my watch! Spin it around!"
Oof, Mike, your microphone went wild there.
Oh, it's still a little.
Oh.
Sorry, Mike. You peak every time you raise your voice.
I apologise. I will try and remedy that. Give me 1 second.
Tech has been a bit wild lately.
Yeah.
Oop.
I've lowered it How is that for everyone?
You're quieter.
You're
but
quieter, unsurprisingly, but less crunchy.
Well, I can only try with that.
That actually does
Um,
sound better quality as well, rather than just quieter.
Yeah. I
Like,
have.
are you sure it's always drawing from the correct microphone?
It is.
Okay.
Well, yeah, we'll see how that goes, and I'll
That
also
does sound a
try
lot better.
I will try and be collect and not as bombastic.
Sure, but that sounded like a settings problem
Yeah.
compounded
Yeah.
by volume rather than exclusively a volume problem.
Yeah, it's not volume that's the problem. It was just the microphone didn't like the volume.
Volume draws our attention to the issue.
I have set it to automatically adjust microphone volume.
That's a lot better.
Should be
Hey,
yeah, cool. So yeah, top of the round, the USS Iskandar.
What is the ship which was pursuing us coming for us doing? Are they still coming for us?
At this
or
moment
the
in
one that
time,
got shot to bits.
Yeah.
No, there are 3
Mhm.
ships. This is not the shot to bits one. It is going after the Iskandar.
Okay. Position us between. Okay, for simplicity's sake, on the view screen, as we get like our tactical map coming up, there's like Ryder, who I've decided is now at tactical but will not be able to contribute, has tagged them. So we have Alpha, Bravo, Charlie of these. Alpha is the one going for the convoy. Bravo is the one up the Iskandar's ass, and Charlie is on the Tovos, so that we can differentiate quickly between which of our enemy ships. Lovely tagging system coming up. So Athan will go, Lieutenant Kantos, position us between the convoy and Alpha. I want you to try to cut off any of their line of fire so that they have to come through us.
Yep. Aiming
Again,
at Alpha, Bravo, or Charlie, because I can get us
Leave-
pointing the right direction.
leave
for one of
Charlie
those.
behind for the moment. For the moment, assuming Bravo's continuing on us, let's give Alpha a bad day.
Yep.
Let's
Sounds like
focus
a
our
good
firing
plan.
on them. Engineering, we might not be in much of a position to maneuver out of the way. We're going to continue to draw fire, so carry on pumping everything that you've got into our hull integrity, into our shields. And assuming that Ryder is just here to look pretty statistically, and Casey is hopefully being a good research boy.
Yeah.
Then it is again going to come down to Kantos and Reyes for creating
Pilot and engineer.
advantages.
Super duper.
4 on the pilot dice.
That
On
will
engineering.
give you 1 free invocation on the advantage.
I again get I roll a flat nothing on the dice, so that is a 5 on the engineering. So that is 2 free indications.
This isn't ship go zoom. This is
Drawing fire, blocking them off. It's a combo of fly provocatively, but also to not die. Yes, you shall not pass. Yeah, that's the Iskandar.
that's the Isk done.
Oh, and give a fumble to drop a direct to the convoy to basically try to, help us keep Iskandar between them and trouble.
You get from Bertrand, message received, Captain. Cut to the Tovos.
Isn't it the Alinda next in the order?
No, the Alinda is swapping turns with the Tovos. So now that the Tovos has, that was discussed. Is that still the plan, Izzy? Oh yeah. The Tovos. Nido asked for a status report. engineering again repeats that there is a percentage decrease in shield capacity. And Mr. Elrad, you see on your console that the Tovos has changed. Not the Tovos. The attacking vessel has changed its target. It is no longer readying weapons to fire at you. It is readying weapons to fire at the shuttle that your bow is on.
My Vulcan's on that shuttle.
Oh, we haven't had the bow conversation yet.
We've not defined anything yet. She's her own Vulcan.
It's true. We are. He is my particular friend.
I repeat my earlier recommendation, Gull. They seem to be, however, going for our eyes and ears right now. What Elrad is going to do is something he has no control over, because all he can do is create advantages. So he is going to try to target the Charlie, but he is going to target them with phaser fire, with the intention of the targeting pattern he is setting up is a heavy array of fast multiple blasts, with the intention that will, if it multiple blasts off the deflectors, might also disrupt their sensor array and thus undermine their targeting options for trying to get the shuttle. So he's potentially aiming to do less damage. If that is a thing I can do without this stupid NPC captain, but let's see what he rolls. Now you roll red, because that is an 8 on phases.
That gives you 4 free invocations to whatever you are creating. What I would also like is a report.
He's not bad at that either. He's not amazing at that. And he's not. No, I think it's going to be interesting if he doesn't do enormously well on this at this point. He only gets a 1.
She does not take her eyes off the main view screen, but in response to the reiterated recommendation, he says, "Your recommendation has been noted, Mr. Morad." And yeah, that's their engineer's going to have another go. Oh, failed. Nothing changes in
Good. Good, fuck you.
It's like the wire task in Among Us. He's going red to yellow, red to blue. He's colorblind. He should never have become an engineer.
You got the symbols on them now. You don't have to go by colors.
He's updated his UI. Rolls around to the Alinda. Zal pipes up with, Commander, they are targeting us.
Talandra gets basically an update feed from the Tovos of like things they're doing. So she knows that they're targeting. She knows where they're targeting. Yep. And she knows what attack pattern they're using.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a plan. But in order for my plan not to sound mental, I need to remind everyone one of Talandra's specific traits is about flying in a way that looks on the surface to be sort of bonkers, but she's calculated it.
I sure hope the dice support that.
I'm gonna make them. I'm gonna make them using threats. Well, Talandra is going to fly in potentially the safest place from the enemy combatants' lasers, which is to fly within the attack pattern of the Tovos's attack, instructing Zal to de-target our weapons so that we are effectively a sensory blind spot for them, but also means that Talandra is effectively flying between laser beams. and she's okay with that.
This would be really awkward if the Tovos fucks it. Like,
I love
guess
that.
I'm not going back to the Iskandar. Just shot my girlfriend.
The meme speaks truth. No, give me that piloting.
Now, I need you to roll well, or I will look bad in front of the boy. I want him to think I'm cool. The dice are a good wingman. Plus
Lives irrelevant. Looking cool.
Plus what?
absolutely necessary. That's a +7.
+7. 3 free invocations.
Talandra is a good pilot. I imagine also she just instructs Zal. She says, detarget our phaser fire, and then like during the attack round is going to just careen into the path of some lasers, and Zal is going to think, oh, this is how I die.
I've given you the advantage laser fight pattern in all caps with 3 free invocations. Super. Okay. All orders have been given.
I'd like to introduce an interpretation on the rules, which may be relevant here, because normally the assumption is that the captain's giving the orders and the people who are creating the advantages are following those orders. So the things that the ship is going to try to do are supportive. Elrad has definitely set up the weapons to do what he thinks is a good idea, and not necessarily what Tovos, what Nido thinks is a good idea. So I'm just saying, if you want to, like, if she wants to just pew them to death, that isn't what his targeting setup is going to be. So whether or not she can use those advantages, I think, is something which you should be allowed to go, no, Kath, you fucked this for efficiency.
I like that, as if you're countermanning orders, you don't get to use the advantages.
Or, well, even for instance, if you're preparing, say, defensively something, and then the enemy does something else, then you can't use the general advantage just if you prepared for something and then they do something. Like, you should, The advantages should still need to be relevant to what the ship's doing.
I like that. But, and not to bog this down, surely if Elrad is at the weapons array, he gets to dictate that. And if he's not following the order that was given, or if he's reducing firepower, that's at his discretion as the person behind that's pulling the trigger, essentially.
Yes. It's down to you on how that works, though.
Yeah, I'm not going to invoke, I like that as a rule, but I'm not going to invoke that because of the circumstances of which Nido doesn't have that oversight, and so is not in a position to countermand that, and so he can basically dictate what those weapons are doing. But we'll begin with the USS Iskandar. Let us go with your defense roll first.
Okay, so who's coming for us? Both Alpha and Bravo?
Bravo is the one that started targeting you initially, isn't it? Yep. So it is Bravo for certain. Alpha is still going for the civilians.
Okay. Then I will make this an engineering defense roll rather than a piloting, because we're still trying to tank Bravo.
Yeah.
Ooh, that is a +3.
You have defeated my. Hold on. No, I got a 3 too.
I will spend one of those invocations for a +2 then.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I think I can spend them. Yeah. So then we will yet again, with efficient power management going on down in engineering, we will tank the phaser fire from Bravo on our shields as we pull up between the two.
Wonderful. Are you going to return fire?
Oh, we are opening fire on Alpha still. So
Excellent.
Athan really wants to draw their fire away from the civilian ship.
Yeah.
Do you want me to just try to hit them? Or can I, just to create advantages on top of advantages, roll phases to try to create an advantage in the ship combat, which is essentially aggro alpha?
I like that. So rather than necessarily
Doing the many
doing
statistical
it
damage.
you are
Oh, okay, using the
yeah.
points for damage for advantages later.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would. Well, I might need the pilot advantage to succeed at this.
Yeah.
So let's roll pilots anyway, because that's it. Because we're positioning ourselves essentially very provocatively. We're positioning ourselves and shooting at them very provocatively. So
Yeah, to go.
this is phases still. Sorry,
We're going. Come at me, bro.
Yeah,
At him.
but shooting at them, and I can use the piloting advantage, I would assume. So anyway, that's pretty good. That is +4 on the dice, so that is a 5 on the phases. To create the situational situational aspect.
Come at me, bro.
Yeah, come at me, bro.
I'm adding "Come at me, bro" on alpha with its free invocations.
Cool. I will add actually a +2 to that from the pilot advantage if that gives me more invocations later. So that will make it. What did I get? I got a 5. So that'll make it a 7. A +7. Come at me, bro. As phaser fire shoots out, and with the positioning of the Iskandar weaving as best as it can to block off Alpha's strike, Alpha is going to have a real hard day going for those poor sweet civilian ships with the Iskandar getting up in her grill, yo.
Yeah. You have
all of this is technical terminology that Athan is using, of course.
That's exactly how it goes.
You get the confirmation as the ship pivots around, and it is very clearly moving in a way that means that it is going to target you on its next attack roll. In fact, it is acting now.
Cool. I'm glad I've still got that engineering.
Yeah.
However, may I still use piloting to defend?
Yes, of course.
Because getting its attention is the way that Kantos has been doing. So that's good. So +3. To do that is a 5 on piloting.
I am on a 5 too.
May I use the engineering power to the shields?
You may.
Okay.
I will also be using a situational aspect at this point.
Neat.
Cool.
I'm going to be drawing from my unpredictable electromagnetic eddies, and I'm going to take 2 of those to make it a 9.
Okay. Then it beats us by 2. Then we will take that on our stress as that's fine. That's not a 9, which hit civilians.
Interestingly, and Casey will relay this, the ship itself is drawing. I'm not going to step into Casey's voice because I need to make sure I'm expressing this correctly. The ship itself is actively drawing from the electromagnetic eddies. That ring that Athan noticed around its hull flickers with currents of electricity sparking from outcropping to outcropping. And when it shoots that next round of torpedoes at the Iskandar, they are essentially supercharged from the eddies. You are also starting to pick up from the sensor reading and watching it maneuver. It is doing something very clever with its shielding, where it's preemptively dampening areas that it's knowing it's turning into. These ships have been specifically modified to traverse these eddies.
I'm sure someone very smart could do something with the fact that they are trying to fuck with the electromagnetic energy right on top of their own ship. But I don't have a Technobabble response to that yet.
Can we not force them into a... If we track where the eddies are, we can position ourselves to just physically force them to move to a more unfavorable position. Now, I don't know whether that's less eddies or more eddies. That's a one for science to deal with.
Can we draw in an eddy, do anything with our phasers to be able to manipulate where they're flowing? That was a Casey. That was a. I mean, I call the mic nod.
Casey chirps from his screen. Theoretically possible, Captain.
Get to work on that.
Okay. If this were an anime, you'd see like the sweat drop appear. It's like, all right, the unthinkable. Now it's Starfleet Science Boy time.
Well, like, positively or negatively charge a fucking phaser beam to bounce the graviton particle beam off the main deflector dish. You know, like.
Damn, she's a genius.
That's the way we do it, lad.
Okay, the way around we're going to do this now, we're going to do the enemy vessel firing upon the shuttlecraft. Then we're going to do the... No, wait, no. Yeah, we're going to do the enemy vessel firing upon the shuttlecraft. And then we're going to do the Tovos' return fire.
I mean, the Tovos is trying to make it harder for the shuttle to be... harder for Charlie to hit the shuttle.
That's true. That's true. And in fact, yeah, you do have the invocations from the dinosaur laser fight to draw from. So yeah, there's plenty there. Yeah, let's do
That's what we
that.
call the aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Roll with
Let's
it.
do Tovos's opening fire.
Okay, I'm not sure how much damage this is going to do, and it's really down to you on what this means. But I'm going to roll phasers and dump all of my advantages into this. It's just it's +1, so that's a 6. Oh, sorry for the weapons. Yeah, not me. So that's a 3. I didn't get 5. That's insane. I got 4. It doesn't go up to 5 free invocations. Sure. However, that is. I'm still going to blow all of those because why not? So that's 8, 10, 11 on the phasers. But it is not aimed as a killing shot. So I don't know if you want to turn that into an advantage for the shuttle or what.
No, there is indeed a means to manage this. It will be taking that as secret option number 3 as to where damage can go.
Cool.
And one of its aspects will be changing irreparably. I can see exactly which one is going to change.
Is the aspect being changed to something along the lines of shrapnel?
Its core concept is space dust.
My core concept is I've ceased to be...
Core concept, going home in a bin bag.
That is taking away 8 points from that 11. The difference being 9. So it still loses its last +4 consequence box. So it needs someone else to do that. So it is completely demobilized by your tremolo fire that peppers the side
technically, it would need to take 1 more point of damage before it's actually defeated.
Excellent. That's true.
In Fate, you have to not be able to take something rather than to run out.
Okay. That is good to know, and that changes its next round slightly. Uh-oh. I very quickly wrote in its consequence box that you can't see the words uh-oh.
Good consequence.
Yeah, you see it is still going to make its... Oh god. Okay.
Michael, is all well?
All is well. The vessel starts to move forward.
Oh no.
Michael, your energy is upsetting. Michael.
Its weapon systems are no longer functioning.
Ah.
It is driving at the shuttlecraft.
Oh, okay. So driving at the
Driving
shuttlecraft.
speed.
That could be worse.
It could be worse. It could be a
could-
lot worse.
It could be
Superb,
driving at
especially
driving at the Tovos would be much worse.
especially since I put all my stuff into being a nippy bastard this round.
Mm-hmm.
This is technically still going to be a phasers versus pilot. If you can roll the shuttlecraft's pilot, I will roll its phasers.
Okay, so that's a 2, but I got invocations, baby.
You're going to need them. It is sitting on a 3, so it's not.
Okay.
Superb. Well, I have 3 free invocations. So
You can get that up to an 8.
yeah, I think I'm going to spend that on an 8 to get out of the way. In fact, I want to use that as an 8 to do the. Oh well, no, I've jumped out of your way and now I'm behind you, bitch.
I have remembered I've got that boost, so I'm gonna do that as a reroll.
Cool.
Maybe it'll roll super high. No,
Is it in fact worse than a 3 now?
it's not worse than a 3. It's got up to a 5.
Okay. So same as if you just
Does it
added
have
on the.
anything it can do? I mean,
Uh,
like, GM fate points.
How was a GM faith point?
You get equal to the number of players in a scene +1.
Oh hell yeah!
Oh.
I'm gonna-
That's a standard. I'll double check those numbers, but you definitely
That sounds
have
right.
you definitely have one.
So we're sitting on a 5. If I spend 2, I'll be able to match.
No, it'll go over.
No, if you spend 2, you'll go over because you'll be sitting on 9.
No, he was sitting on 5, so he'll go to 7.
Yeah, so
Hold on,
so
5?
if he spends another 2.
Yeah, you get 2. You get +2 per point spent.
Yeah. So if you spend 2 of those GM fate points, that's adding 4.
Depending on what you're tagging.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'll look it up in this stupid book with its shitty index. One of the worst indices of any rule book.
What's that? A role-playing game that has bad index?
Really bad.
So yeah, Michael, what are you doing?
I am using a couple of fate points to boost up my score in
Cool.
order to try and inflict some damage upon you.
Well, then I feel like it behoves me to spend fate points of my own.
Absolutely.
Since-
I am tagging the aspect maneuverable raider ship
Okay.
for my own purposes.
I think based on the fact that if I tag an aspect of the shuttle, it'll take me up to a 10.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tag standard issue shielding array because it's likely that if they have fired on as much as they can, or if they're flying straight at her, that she might donk off them as she tries to fly over. But she
Or small maneuverable shuttlecraft for
I'm
just additional.
nope. I'm saving that for a rainy day.
Yeah, legit.
It's fair.
Legit. So yeah, you match my effort to try and outmaneuver you on 3D fate point chess.
8 points. But it's close enough that it's stressful.
Oh yeah, it is like detonating, and the detonation scores across the shielding, and that's the thing. This thing detonates. It is not that it hit you and exploded. It turned itself into a bomb and then detonated against your shield.
Wow.
I'm really glad they did it to that shuttle.
I think what Talandra does is just drops out of the sky with basically a hold on to Zal.
He does not look pleased. This is a stressed Andorian.
It balances because he looks really stressed and Talandra just expressionless throughout.
The civilian vessels are going to make themselves a quick, cheeky little aspect. They do.
Do we get to know what this cheeky aspect is?
Are they communicating with us?
Yeah,
Are they being helpful?
You're getting odd comms from them. What they're particularly doing is trying to look out for one another in this field of wild phaser fire and a recent explosion. The aspect they have created, and I guess I will put it visible on. I'll put it on the bottom of the Iskandar's sheets. Fly together, or not at all. With 2 free invocations, which they intend to use to defend themselves if it comes around to it. We swing back around. Orders, crew phase, USS Iskandar.
We have the attention of both of them.
So it was Charlie's the one that's exploded, yeah?
It is, yes, Charlie has completely destroyed itself.
Okay, so it's just Alpha and Bravo to tank with.
Right, until Bravo breaks off, let's get up close and personal with Alpha. Let's not let them keep any distance. If we can turn this into a slugging match, that's something that they're going to lose, which is not something we often do in an Intrepid. So get us up close and we'll drop a volley of torpedoes at point blank range if we can, Lieutenant.
Hi, Captain. Moving us up close and personal.
Can I? No, I'm. No, sorry. I was thinking through which way I wanted to go. Engineering. I think piloting is going to be the aggressive one for this time. So engineering will continue to be.
Yeah, I think engineering still our defense against us.
Yes.
To counterbalance against the fact that we've just moved the ship to move me closer. I want to hit them with my sword, which is going to be the name of the aspect.
Yes. So yes,
if I come up with one.
Engineering is going to continue its power systems jig to tank. That's not a great roll from Lieutenant Reyes.
That's 5 on the piloting.
There's a 3 on the engineering. Reyes is gonna try to do better because she isn't gonna spend her fate points on any fucking thing else. It's time for to invoke the aspect of ships don't work without a team as engineering pulls it together. What did I roll? I rolled a -2, so I'll just do a flat reroll. I got a flat nothing, which is actually better. So that is a 5, which makes it 2 free invocations of,
I can do this all day.
Yes.
Superb.
I had to check. What do we got? Move closer. I want to hit them with my sword. The Iskandar is. I mean, I'll describe it when time comes around.
Excellent. We cut. It really doesn't matter who goes first in this. Does the shuttlecraft want to go first, or the Tovos want to go first?
Definitely the Tovos, because there's been an explosion and Talandra's vanished, and I imagine there was a 0.25. I imagine there was a 0.25 interruption in the sensor readings because of the explosion right next to her, and that's dramatic. We all know it's framed in the scene that oh no, Talandra could have died in that explosion, but we watching that go, no, in 2 seconds she'll be all right. But there is this tension, and we experienced it.
Yes. So we have the immediate reaction to the detonation that seems to encompass the shuttlecraft Alinda. There's Nido's first response is status report. The data from the explosion and kind of its measurements are fed through the consoles, and engineering chirp up with, If that were to happen within our shield array, a non-existent shield array, we would not have survived.
Then Ops should find out the status of the shuttle.
I'm going to add to this tension. There's a slight, in fact, I'm even going to remove the last of my unpredictable electromagnetic eddies situation aspects. As Ops responds, we can't get a readout there. Our sensors are shot.
Nido, if you want this ship to have any further use in this, then you need a competent engineer.
Give me that report.
Can I actually make that a provoke check?
Yes.
That's the
Bad
puppy.
dad the situation.
That's a 5.
I think it's a testimony to the actors for Gul Nido and Kalev Elrad, because I imagine the next 3 to 5 seconds of footage is conveyed entirely from facial
So long.
The gifs. The gifs.
It's one of those
The memes.
Like,
The
80s
memes.
music's like tension, single beat synth moments. And we see the firm face of Nido, a twist in the brow, a slight downwards curl of the lips, the eye flickers. She actively breaks eye contact away from Kalev Elrad, and she, whatever the equivalent of activating her comms, chimes out and says, "Get the Starfleet engineer on the bridge." We cut to Arkady Burov.
Hello.
Just to break up this action a little.
I love it.
A security Cardassian has been looming over you in this period. You felt the odd rock and tremble from the ship. I imagine at this point, dramatic phaser fire is happening just so that there's something occurring in the background. You see the Cardassian, I think, reach to an earpiece. I don't know if they have the out loudy things, but one way or another, the message gets through, even if it's just a second Cardassian entering the room and imparting it. And then the security officer looks over and says, "What is the status of the ensign?"
You've been with me the whole time.
I'm asking if Ensign Adam Strange is suitable for service aboard the bridge.
Probably. He's good. He's a good engineer. Unreliable with big long-term decisions, but good in the short term, which is what you need in this moment. Sick bay! Sick bay!
Thank you for the character notes.
You asked. Tell me what you need from me. Stop being obtuse with your tall standing and your neck bones.
She looks away from Arkady and sets her eyes on Ensign Strange. We are a hair's breadth away from detonating. Your services are required on the bridge. Will you follow me?
Okay. Lead on.
The next shot we see, after a few more panoramic shots of...
What am I, in the bin now? Goodbye. I guess I don't need help anymore. That problem solved.
As Arkady's voice gently fades out while the scene shifts to the bridge.
Arkady's just being
The
left in
faint
a room.
echo of Arkady ranting in the background.
People adjust the levels on the next scene, and they can still hear them in the background while these two are walking.
I think in the background, as Strange is being taken away from the cell, we see a Cardassian guard like look towards the door and then take a step away from the door. Yeah, they are just being abandoned in a room, but that feels like a very Cardassian thing to do. Just leave that one there. It's not,
Well,
it's not going to bother anyone.
They were pointed towards sickbay. That's where they're going.
Yeah. In fact, yeah, there are like injuries already. There was someone already unconscious at the console, so there's plenty that they can be getting on with.
If there is a doctor on that sickbay that like is clearly the doctor on that sickbay, Arcady is just going to run up to them and just say, "What can I do?" Knowing full well that it doesn't matter how shitty these Cardassians are. Whoever is the CMO of the ship is going to go, "Are you a doctor?" Yes. Excellent.
Yeah. No, it's such a warm response from Dr. Greff, who's like, "Oh, thank you. Yes, please, this way." And immediately you're being handed equipment.
I'm getting the opposite of what Strange got. The medics are like, "Oh, superb. Oh, hello. Do come in. Do come in."
It's Starfleet. That'll help. Oh, thank goodness. Yes, and I think we are going to pause for a break, but this will happen after we see Strange being brought up onto the bridge, maybe sharing a look with Kalev Elrad, and then taking position on an engineering console.
Yeah, I think it's just a look, a nod.
We need sensors. Can I ask that we finish the maneuver with the Iskandar before the break?
Oh God, yes. Sorry, please do.
Because I think the Tovos is in a bit more unless one of those ships turns around or the Tovos gets its sensors back. The Tovos is in a wibbly space, but we set up a maneuver and didn't do.
So we can at least get it to the bit where when we come back after the break, we're back at top of the round.
Yes,
Yeah,
or I will
please
forget
do.
everything.
Yeah. Let's finish the round.
Yes. Take your action.
All right. Aggressive attack, which technically. Can I actually use piloting rather than phasers for this to do damage? No, that's bullshit. That's not how this works. I've got piloting advantages to be able.
It's piloting.
I hate it when
piloting
people do
piloting advantages on your phasers roll.
Phasers, yes. It's like, oh, I want to get close. No, Kath, you hate it when people pull that shit in phase. However, that is a +3. And what do I need to beat?
Apparently 1.
Okay, neat. Well, I'm gonna spend those 2 and make this a 7. Because we have not really hurt them very much. We've just winged them once. So and also why the fuck else would I do? The Iskandar bolts straight up close on top of this fleet raider. Now the Iskandar is an Intrepid class. This is a light science vessel, but it is for once against something smaller and nippier. So it's going to use its speed to get right on top, bringing all of its forward phasers and torpedo launchers to bay, and just before they know what is happening, put a volley right into them at point blank range.
They do not like that, and they will be returning fire. They're not quite out for the count yet, and that's more like it. That's a critical success on their return phases. So
what does that translate to as an actual number? So that's presumably 5 on the dice.
5 on the dice, 2 from their phasers,
so
which
7.
makes it a 7.
So we're chasing 7.
I got a +2 on the dice, which is a 3 in total, and I can.
And we've got enough from the 2 invocations. If I can do this all day to match,
I am going to spend. I will spend both of them to match it because I can burn fate points for the second ship if I need to.
Yeah.
Super.
Because then that guarantees that we don't take a consequence, which is what we would have to do.
Yep.
So I'm going to spend 2 of I can do this all day as they, return as we're in point blank range, and the shields are holding, but they still they've got our number, or however you're representing, I guess, this boost that they get against us in combat.
Yeah. I'll denote that on this sheet because I'll forget if it's somewhere else.
And I assume Bravo also wants to go.
Bravo does want to go. I'll get to Bravo. Boost against Iskandar. I have you now. Bravo, perfectly intact. Opens fire. Another crit.
You fucking kidding me?
No,
Fuck
No, I know
I
you're
nearly
not.
lifted up the
Yeah.
dice to show you. Yeah, same numbers. So that's another 7.
It's a 4 on the dice, a 5 with
Okay.
an engineering. It's so I'm going to actually I'm going to take a minor consequence rather than tag up processing power bioneural gel packs. Because frankly, I think we might want to save that for a rainier day than a minor consequence.
Yeah, I think I'd be saving those fate points for when you're much further behind.
Yes. If I need a reroll, if
Yeah, exactly.
Shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like if the dice were garbage, then yeah, burn the fate point. But +4, you're not going to beat that. I mean, technically you can.
Yeah,
but
but
like
it's
that.
not necessary. What's a minor?
Not that
Mine
many.
is very incidental.
I know it's
mu-
huge on the Tovos, but
yeah, no, well,
yeah, but the
actually,
Tovos runs on drama.
but just like for physical things, a minor is things like a sprained ankle. Like it's not. So I just guess
So
a damage deflector array. Damage means whatever we fucking want it
Yeah,
to be. Like,
Gently dinged.
gently dinged.
actually, I'll go with damaged
It'll
EPS
buff out.
conduit. Damaged EPS conduit, and that Reyes is going to have to reroute some stuff,
There we
which
go.
theoretically will have no impact, but could have an impact rather than a core system being damaged.
It could either be some technobabble, or you are setting up a thing for later, so you can
Yes.
go, it's the conduit, and we're like, that was established.
Yes, and I am very
I
smart.
like the idea that action sequence canonically happens before Strange gets on the bridge, so we get those action shots, we get the return fire, we see shit popping off in the warp core around Reyes and around rising superstar Glyn Halmid.
Oh yeah,
Not forget.
yeah.
Who-
In fact, yeah, that
We've
will
got a
be
pet
that
Cardassian.
will be Reyes's bit of going like, right, that EPS conduit is blown. We are going to need to reroute all of the power flow coming through a completely different systems. So, yeah,
And it's a moment in the episode where Reyes could be suspicious, where it's mirroring Reyes and Dr. Graff is they're mirroring the chance to be suspicious of their people the way they're suspicious of Adam Strange, and they're just like, go reroute the things. Oh, you're a doctor, superb. Come and do doctory things, and they're like, they're good. They're doing good, non-suspicious shenanigans.
Yeah, I think like Halmid suggests and puts forward a pretty good idea of where to get the power from. Like as Reyes rattles that off, she's already falling in step. She's working at the pace that Reyes is.
I want to adopt another Cardassian.
Yeah, this one,
There's
Rising
precedent.
Superstar Glyn Halmid is my favorite.
This one is both a Cardassian and a science twink.
And
Both
also,
are adoption criteria.
the youngest legate in Cardassian history.
The youngest
legate.
legate.
She's
Just
gonna be. I canonically want her to become a legate next time we see her, and that to be like 2
When you say
episodes
next time we see her, that's like the next scene,
Next
right?
scene.
She's just got more like gold trim across her thing. But yes,
Every time she appears on screen for the rest of this episode, slightly more gold trim.
they've named her Prime Lector of Cardassian.
And yeah, with that, we will take our break here. We'll give it 20 minutes. So we'll come back about 20 to 10. And yeah, get yourself a refreshment, and then we'll get back onto the action with the USS Iskandar.
tanking 2 at once.
Welcome back. I let that silence linger a little too long, mostly to help me when I come to edit this, so I can see exactly where we timed back in.
I
back.
honestly just thought he wasn't sure if he'd put us
That-
back.
We just assumed you'd fucked up again, Mike.
I saw it happen.
Like, I know this is the third time you've tried to time us back in after the break, but you know.
There was some technical mistakes.
Hope everyone's feeling nice and refreshed. It's time to get
Refreshed?
back into
Yes.
it.
Nice.
Nice. I could take or leave me today. If I'm
Nice
honest.
is overrated.
So, I feel like I want to start on the Tovos because that's where the most interesting changes happened.
Michael,
But-
if I may, I think you should start with a state of play of the battlefield.
Yeah, so as it stands, there is a civilian convoy of 6 ships that has been successfully thus far defended against the attacking marauder ships. 2 of those ships are now trained exclusively on the USS Iskandar, and they are trading blows on a fairly like-for-like level at this stage, I think it's fair to say. Well, certainly one of them is. Another is fairly jimmied up the wazoo and could fall apart at any second.
Its
the-
jimmies have been well and truly rustled.
Those were my orders. Jimmy, that ship up the wazoo. Tactical.
Tactical, see that ship's wazoo? Jimmy.
Jimmy it. That's my version of make it so. Jimmy it.
Jimmy it. And it sounds really serious in the space future, but it doesn't
Jimmy it.
translate to the now. But yeah, one of the ships has been destroyed, or rather destroyed itself, and tried to take out a shuttlecraft with it, containing, I would say, fan favorite characters, or certainly top 7 characters.
The buddies, the besties.
The friends, the bros, Talandra and Zal. Tovos's sensors array have gone completely out of useful action. Dramatically speaking, they can still, they still know they're in space and where things are, but they have lost track of the shuttle. And at the firm, intimidating behest of one Kalev Elrad, Ensign Adam Strange has been relieved from custody and has taken position at the engineering bay on Tovos' bridge.
The station on the bridge.
Station on the bridge.
Yeah, sorry.
So this is an oddly crude bridge now, but there remain threats out there. So I guess we'll get back into the combat phase. Definitely the last legs of it. Iskandar, what are you doing?
Oh, sorry. I thought we were going to be.
Yeah, I thought we were going to be on the
You're right.
Tovos.
I want to start on the Tovos.
Yeah, you said we were going to start on the Tovos. Described it, and I was like,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
have
okay,
anything.
I
that-
brought the camera neatly
this-
into the Tovos and then smashed
And then
cut to
just
the
smashed
Iskandar.
us to the end.
Like a Than's like making a sandwich.
I feel I didn't have like I've got a thing I definitely want to do. I was
Yeah,
no,
in
in
the
the mode.
zone.
You have 3 characters to juggle, so I need to give you more warning before being like, and then a Than says,
There's a reason Reyes is being the Goblin Queen of Iskandar and engineering. But yes,
or the Tovos.
Ensign Strange, there was a destination of the ship approximately 500 meters off our port bow. There's no sign of the shuttle, which Commander Talandra launched from, and it appears to have overwhelmed their sensors. We need eyes.
I'll see what I can get you.
Nothing else. I have no idea of the circumstances with the Iskandar at present.
Okay. What is the status of the Tovos' sensors at the minute? What have we got to work with to make eyes?
Because it was essentially using a situational aspect for dramatic effect. There isn't really a consequence or a situational aspect to remove, but we would essentially be creating the advantage as we would for the future combat round of sensors back online.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
it
so assuming that it's taken kind of like an electromagnetic pulse
Yeah.
So that's just switched them off, but not actually done any damage to them. It's not fried any circuitry.
Yeah.
And so it's basically the slightly fancier version of turn it off and on again.
Do that.
Reset some breakers, that kind of thing. That is 3.
3. You have 1 free invocation to this situation aspect. The advantage you can create will be something like fully operational sense. Yeah, it is still a flickering and weak signal, but you are able to see indications that there is still a vessel moving out there. Its status currently unknown.
Right, that's the aspect added, or advantage added.
For the audience, the advantage is sensor. I hardly know her.
Hey!
Which is superb. Now be serious and sad, Elrad.
That would require me to find the joke you'd made a billion times funny for this to be difficult.
Brutal. Oh no.
I say it apparently in the Elrad voice as well.
Elrad tears
Elrad just says this out loud.
It's a fan favorite.
Just like through the fourth wall.
I hate the writers.
And the writers hate me.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we do.
Guido says... No, she doesn't say that because the ship can't fucking move. She says, we are in 0 position to be able to lend the Iskandar any aid.
And some strange, there's only possibility if there's anything we can vent which is going to get us moving at any kind of a rate.
Give me a second. What have we got that we don't need? Preferably some kind of fluid, so a gas or a liquid kind of thing, rather than just, we don't need this deck. Because whilst we could just throw the deck out.
Air.
Yeah, like, you in third law, you could just yeet bits of the ship and it will move. But we're not going to do that.
I'm not sure if I have no idea if it's possible for us to do that and move fast enough on a space basis for this to be, I mean, anything. I'm not sure if there's anything we can vent which is going to have us moving at a useful speed.
No, I think that's the trick of it. Like there will be, right now, emergency shielding is closing off any exposed areas in hull. And so theoretically, that's gas that the ship doesn't need to carry. Those decks have already been evacuated. You could just turn off the emergency shielding, free up that power resource, and also make the ship a little bit lighter by venting the gas in the areas where people aren't. But, as you rightly say, the impulse engines are completely non-operational.
Yeah, and chucking the air out the ship in the bits that we don't need air isn't going to get us very far. So, okay. What else have we got? Are the impulse engines just... has this ship... Actually, impulse engines are off.
Mm-hmm.
Does this ship have kind of maneuvering thrusters?
So not
yes.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, let's use those.
That's not going to have us moving very fast, Stenson.
But with the impulse engines off completely, this is probably our most efficient way of getting any movement.
With that, I'm not sure how it was done, but I'm aware of the fact that Starfleet managed to once use a Cardassian deflector array at Deep Space Nine to adjust the station's inertial mass so it could be moved.
Let's have a look at this deflector array.
And that's how they fucking moved it to near the wormhole.
Okay.
That's canonically what O'Brien, the most important person in Starfleet history, did.
I want it on record that I hate that particular piece of technobabble.
It's wild. It makes no fucking sense whatsoever.
No, it does not. Okay, let's put the thing that works in real space down and go with the deflector array option.
I mean, well, we could use both because again, maneuvering thrusters, because we still need to propel us in some way. We reduced our mass. Now what?
We're ready for summer.
Okay, let's have a look at that then. Although that's going to be me making another engineering roll, isn't it? So that's not going to happen this round.
I think our timeline position is wobbly at best.
Yeah.
It is, but I don't want to just like go
Well-
and the Tovos gets like 14 rolls.
No, here's how this goes, because I imagine this isn't something that can be solely interfaced from the bridge. It has to utilize hands-on down at the engineering.
Oh, do I have to use those?
You do have to use those.
But those hands are made of dickheads.
Yeah, that dickhead chimes through on the communications and says, Gulnido, I do not recommend that course of action. That could very well compromise our shielding. If we end up in heavy fire, we will be in jeopardy. Strange. He's talking bollocks.
I was about to ask that. A, is he talking bollocks? B, how can I make it so is there a way that I can jig things such that not only is he talking bollocks, but I can make the shield array better? So it's like double bollocks.
I think you absolutely can, but this is all going to be depending on what you can convince Nido to give out by way of orders. I think you know the science behind this better than him, and I think it's very clear. Like, he is being hyper cautious.
Sure.
It's like, we can't go outside because we might catch a cold, and if we catch a cold, we could fall and break our leg.
I mean,
Like,
he's
it's-
technically
it's-
correct. If we get into a fight, bad things will happen because we're not in a good condition.
If we go in a fight, we'll be fighting.
I'll fight you in a minute, sunshine.
So without needing you, unless you feel comfortable to give me the technobabble explanation when you've already voiced that you hate this one, this is going.
No. I can roll with it.
Sorry
alright.
for invoking hated technobabble.
Yeah. I will power through this one through the sheer force of spite against this piece of technobabble. It is certainly possible that using the deflector array to reduce the ship's inertia could leave us at risk. However, there are systems that we can use to boost the shield array that, should that problem come up, will more than counter that. And if that problem doesn't come up, then we'll have boosted the shield array such that it will be performing at approximately 2.5 times its current capacity. Gulnido.
I'd like to observe, Galnido, that if we cannot provide the Iskandar with any supporting fire and the Iskandar loses this fight, then those raiders are going to come for us anyway.
Nido says, clicks back onto the NPC list. Glenvale, are these predictions accurate? Not that they will be fired upon. I know that prediction is accurate. The predictions given to us by Ensign Adam Strange. There is a long pause. Full name bomb. It's not the Starfleet engineer now.
This is but this is also so weird. Cardassians like never first name each other. Like it was pretty telling that Garrick did it to his father once, and it was like, well, shit. We only learned Ducat's first name in beta canon in the books, and it's
stupid. It's stupid.
Someone looked at their little baby son and went, scrain. He looks like a scrain.
Does he look like a scrain to you?
I mean, little did they know he would grow up to be quite the scrain, but
so yeah, you get posed the question. The question is posed to Vel: are these predictions accurate? There is a notable beat of hesitation, and then a yes. And then she says, "Then do it." And Vel is going to roll pretty okay. That's sitting on a 4.
Okay.
So that is going to be a +1 picked off the tip sheet. Asshole. There we go. A +1 free invocation on Starfleet. No, it's best one.
Sorry, the Technobabble is now irrelevant. What's important is that a Starfleet engineer is Starfleet engineering this in the face.
And yeah, those orders go out.
Well, sorry, but assuming this is at the end of the Tovos, but if not, come back to me later.
Yeah, we're at the end of the Tovos.
While everyone else is doing that, like, we've picked up the shuttles there. So Elrad, he's using the tactical sensor array insofar as what he's got, but he's still trying to check up on this fucking shuttle. Like, the shuttle's there. Is all of it?
How many bits?
Does it have life
there?
signs aboard? Like, that's what he's going to be doing while the nerds are nerding.
Give me an ops check.
Oh, he's not bad at that. Does not critically succeed, but he very nearly critically succeeds. That is a 6.
That is one healthy-looking shuttlecraft.
to be honest, Talandra was going to be attempting to reconnect the two ships sensorily.
I like that happening just the beat after he gets that array.
I don't like the word sensorily.
I didn't like it, but I said it, and I was just
It's a
hoping we
word
could all
now.
move on.
Nope.
You didn't let me. You have done this to you.
So there is a sensorial connection
From
between you
Talandra.
both.
Yeah, okay.
A deep, invasive sensorial connection.
It's not sensorial. Isn't as bad as sensorily.
Yeah.
Like.
Also, Talandra never does anything invasively. She's very respectful.
And yeah, the moment you get there's a shuttlecraft, the data feed starts coming through. And someone else on the bridge reports that, feed's coming through.
Tovos, come in. Tovos, this is Alinda. Tovos, come in.
Tovos here, go ahead.
Status?
We have not sustained any further damage, and with the assistance of Ensign Strange, we have been able to potentially get ourselves in a position where we can maneuver.
What is our plan of attack?
We need you to be our road, and we will be following behind you.
Currently, going to be best positioned for long-range attack and be a not particularly mobile artillery point. If you're still in any condition to fly and to evade enemy fire, the closer you can get to provide the most accurate targeting telemetry from a long distance will allow us to contribute sooner, as we will not be fast, and contribute from a greater weapons range than they can bring us.
Understood, Mr. Elrad. We shall be your targeting reticule. We shall use our lasers. We shall use our phasers to pinpoint the optimal torpedo strikes.
Very good.
Then shall we? The Tovos begins groaningly to move. Shuttlecraft Alinda, it feels fair to come back to you.
Yeah.
Immediately off the back of that.
It's literally what we're doing. Talandra turns to nod to Zal, who heard everything she just said, and no,
he takes out earbuds. He's like, "What? I got an audio book."
Karis.
I know.
But she will, because she's got a few seconds of like flying to get back to that side of the battlefield. She will say, "What do you think our best tactical option is?"
I think we should target the weaker vessel. If we end up drawing fire from a vessel that can withstand a few rounds, then it could well be our last stand.
Understood. Pinpoint locations. Weapons, engines, shields.
All right. I think that is going to be piloting from Talandra and ops from Zal. Not an indecent roll from Zal.
Good, because it's a filthy roll from Talandra.
Filthy.
That's a +7.
Where's Zal's? There he is. He's yellow.
He's blue.
He's blue. Oh, God, 1 second too late. Ops +1. Okay, at least you look pretty. That is a 4 on his, so that is back to ships. A 1 free invocation from the shuttlecraft from Zal's targeting. And what was Talandra's roll?
+7.
7, Jesus Christ.
She's a very good pilot. It's worth noting that, like, whoever designs and animates the flying sequences, like, they clearly really love their job, because, like, the way she flies and the way Kantos flies are, like, very different, but both, like, equally good. She is just ridiculously precise. Absolutely zero intuition, 100% calculation. Whereas Kantos is quite a loose, like, just sort of feel it, just kind of lean into it kind of pilot.
Have I been detracting the free invocations from the laser flight pattern from the earlier round?
I mean, I think that's gone. I think.
I think that's well used.
Yeah, so I'll reinstate that. That is now back on the board.
Great.
And yeah,
Always laser fight patterns.
Laser fight patterns. More. There we go. Now we know it's a different aspect. And yeah, so now we are in a situation where we see the shuttlecraft peeling off towards the fray, and the Tovos sluggishly bringing its way around behind Iskandar. What is going on aboard the bridge?
What's the situation with with Alpha and Bravo?
They are both very interested in you.
Good.
Alpha doesn't seem to necessarily have the lack of survival instincts that Charlie did. It is taking a slightly more defensive stance at this juncture. It is unclear what particularly they are trying to do, but it has not quite trained its weapons on you just yet.
Lieutenant Casey, any progress on... Crap, you deleted the situation aspect, which was giving me the Technobabble name. The electromagnetic eddies.
Yes. I've been able to backtrack some of the initial explosion aboard the Tovos' electromagnetic eddies patterns. This sounds odd. I think they created it.
These ships created it.
The particular strike that brought the Tovos out of warp, yes.
Interesting.
But is this anything that we can replicate?
I have every confidence that this is something we can replicate.
All right. Then get ready to do that. And what we're going to do is try to bring both of these ships up close.
Okay. He doesn't say okay. He says, yes, Captain. Because he's a good boy.
Right. Let's see how we can try and tag team the pair of yous.
I think keeping us rotating so we can bring as many weapons to bear on both ships at once.
Aye, Captain. So Kantos now wants to move the Iskandar to basically in between Alpha and Bravo, with a bit of a cheeky flip on the way, so that we can in fact get as many weapons pointed at them at once as possible.
Superb. Any other orders going out, Captain?
I think Reyes is going to put. So this plan of us dropping a big field of electromagnetic explosion right on top of ourselves. Are you about to do this immediately, or are we going to have to take some weapons fire for a bit? That's a Casey question, because Casey / the GM is the one who knows this round. Do I need to prepare to weather a shitstorm that we are going to drop on top of ourselves?
Casey says, I can buy you about 5 seconds time.
Shields to take weapons fire it is. That's one initiative round. So next round, we'll do that.
Yes.
So yes, create engineering advantage.
Casey, my boy.
6. That's 2 free invocations of modulating shield energy levels. So as we rotate, Reyes is making sure that she's dancing with various shield outputs to be able to take fire as it comes along in a more efficient way, rather than just all shields everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Just deleted the thing I wrote.
Yay.
Kantos gets a 5 on their pilot check.
Superb. So Kantos can create an advantage with 2 free invocations.
Okay.
Chips bringing explosions on top of themselves. What a
Casey does extremely well and is able to create a advantage with 3 free invocations, which I've called I'm charging my laser.
Nice.
Which is an old meme, sir, but it checks out. And yeah, he is getting positioned to be able to dunk on these ships with electromagnetic force. It is not going to be now. So now we're going to round around to combat. I think rather than going in that order, we will start with the Iskandar.
Mm-hmm.
Weapons free, Iskandar.
We're attacking, doing a shoot. Let's stick with. I want to bring them in close. So basically, whichever one is further away, I think is
Try and lure
Iskandar.
them in.
Yeah, to try and lure them in. So which is probably Bravo this time, which hasn't had much of a beating. In fact, that's good, because let's weather down Bravo a bit.
Yeah.
So that's a phases check. That is a +3. That is a 4.
You got a -3.
I'm going to blow 2 against 1 now. It's a fair fight to make it an 8 to fuck them up.
Yeah, they're going to take a major consequence on that.
Yes.
A few singular blasts from the shoot disc. I believe it's called the shoot disc.
Yeah.
And you are pretty confident. You see the kind of flickering of the shield completely caving in to your phaser fire. They do not have operational shields right now. And it looks like you've done some pretty significant damage to their hull.
It's going to do them a really bad day when they've got these torpedoes which explode at the drop of a hat, and we're about to drop something really bad on top of them.
Yeah. They are going to return fire with phasers. Not great. You're only having to beat a 1.
I don't even need to use modulating shield power. I get a 3.
Yeah.
There is a second ship, I guess.
There is a second ship. However, they're going to do something quite interesting. To stop it being myself rolling against myself, Reyes, can I have an engineering roll, please?
Yeah. 8. Sorry, you asked a character to roll their primary ability.
No, it's fair. I thought it might not be that. Reyes, the one you have dubbed Alpha, they are attempting boarding action. They are trying to get a transportation lock sufficient through this storm to get people aboard your vessel.
Well, I'm just for the sake of it and for the sake of the drama, I'm going to blow those 2 modulating shield power on to improve Reyes's role as she's right there adjusting the shield distribution, and it's like, well, piss off, and just adjusts it to just get enough of the deflectors with coverage across all sections so they can't beam through our shields. You want shields are everywhere. Fuck you.
Linda.
Oh. I've lost track of what I'm doing. I'm continuing to do the thing I said I was doing.
I believe the advice had been given by Zal to fire on the weaker ship if there was going to be firing at all, which is basically, let's see, you're basically lining up the first shot and kind of a shoot here for the Tovos.
Yeah, we're pewing our phasers at the point. We're doing what you do in FTL, where you fire your pew lasers so that your other weapons can cut through because you've brought down the shields, and it's all very technical.
Go ahead and give me a phasers check. It's going to be a straight up and down roll.
Straight up and down roll rather than one of those side to side rolls.
One of those side to side gay rolls.
And this will go up and down.
That's a +3. But that's the trick because Zal is rolling it and Zal is gay.
Mm-hmm.
+3.
Oh yeah. It got a 1. It doesn't have a great deal that it can do with that.
So we are the element of surprise. Didn't expect to get pewed at by a shuttle, did you?
Its shields have gone down to Tovos.
Mostly limping, and I haven't set up, or I hasn't set anything up. So I guess it's whatever it can. I think it's just going to be a straight phasers check as it tries to get into a good condition.
It's doing pretty good on that phasers check.
Although arguably it could use sensor. I hardly know her actually to improve its targeting.
I don't think it needs to. That is an extremely poor defense roll. And as that particular vessel takes its secret option number 3 aspect damage, it is completely demobilized and looks like it has very little option or left of what to do. And I think we can kind of round off combat at this stage with Casey reporting to Athan. I'm ready to activate.
One moment. Open a channel, all frequencies.
There is a chirp. No visual comes through, but you hear a male gruff voice come through.
Unidentified ship. This is the USS Iskandar. You've already lost one of your ships. Another I see is drifting. How do you want this to end? With your surrender or your destruction? I implore you to stand down.
Bravo. The signal is coming from Bravo. The voice says, "We can survive without you." And the feed cuts off. They are going to try to hit warp and bail.
Oh, they're running. Oh, okay. They're allowed to run. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a bot.
What's their bearing as they're running off?
Back into the storm.
Follow them on sense if you can, but let them run. Hold your fire, Mr. Casey.
Hi, Captain.
Well, Kowalski, scan Alpha. Do we have any life signs? Any survivors?
Yes, Captain. 3 aboard the vessel.
If you can get a lock, beam them into our brig.
Yes, sir.
Farm to Coronis. Not Iskandar to Coronis. What's your status, Coronis, and status of the convoy? Coronis. No, Coronis, it's you. That's Bertrand Vaughan. That's the convoy.
Fuck. Sorry,
Yeah.
I was.
No.
You named my ship Linda.
Yeah, it's not Linda, it's Coronis.
I even tried to give you the nudge and the convoy. Like,
Yeah, no, you did.
And the convoy?
I was like,
Convoy.
it's weird. Why would?
And you?
Why would Izzy know that, Kath? That's a weird thing to prompt Izzy to report on.
Yeah, weird.
It's Cad that responds and goes, it's Cad here. We're good. We made it through.
good to
All
hear.
good? All 6 of you is good?
I got 2 hands and 2 feet.
Hold your position, then, convoy. We'll stand by for further instructions.
Yes, sir.
Phil Linda's out there. Okay, Iskandar to Tovos.
Tovos here.
What's your status, Nida?
We have been able to avoid taking any additional damage, and thanks to the intuition of Ensign Strange, who is aboard the bridge with me here, we have been able to recover a small degree of propulsion.
Understood. They seem to have been gone. I don't think they're going to come back, and we have apprehended some in our brig. I encourage you to come to a halt, let us come back close, and we can see if we can assist you with any repairs.
I welcome that, Captain.
Good to hear. We'll be with you soon, Galnida. Iskandar out. Iskandar to Alinda. Commander, report.
Alinda Higg. Nothing to report, Captain. Minimal damage. We acted as the sensor output for the Tovos. Can report engagement with 2 enemy hostiles. Any damage taken upon our shields.
Very good. Reports to the Iskandar. We'll probably be sending another maintenance team with you to ferry back to the Tovos.
Regarding the situation with Ensign Strange, Captain?
He has been released and was assisting on the bridge. I believe that particular crisis has been resolved.
Then something good came out of this after all, Captain.
Indeed. It's good to see you in one piece, Sixer. Come back and we'll have you send someone over to the Tovos. Iskandar out. Good flying, Lieutenant.
Thank you, Captain.
2 at once while the Cardassians were busy trying to get their engines restarted.
Stuff like just that good, it seems.
Right. And being smug about us being better than everybody else.
Yeah.
I like that aboard the Tovos, it's all because it's all Cardassians and a sad boy. So the expression is all, oh, we did it. Oh, we got through it. Oh, we're doing it. The Iskandar is all smug, and just on the shuttle, Talandra just looks at Zal and just nods and goes back to what she's doing.
No. Here's what happens. Like, they're both like looking forwards, and I think Zal just raises a fist.
You
She
fared
lays
very
it.
well. You fared very well under remarkably difficult circumstances, Karis.
Thank you. One day he will get the fist pound he deserves.
I do not I do not think. I just don't think.
Not from Delandra.
I've never
Don't call
I've
it
never had a
that.
thought in my life.
Some days
So-
I will get the fist pound he deserves, but that's an entirely separate.
That's on AO3, I think. And yeah, everyone can be reconvened. The Tovos and the Iskandar can be maneuvered into such a position as transport between the two ships is a little bit more free. However, before Ensign Adam Strange is released, you are summoned to the girls' ready room.
Elrad's going with him.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Dad.
There is a notable absence of Shit Hands McGee,
Good.
Glynn's Sot
Oh.
Vel.
Arcady killed him.
Good.
Fucking murdered
Finally,
him.
Arcady went full Rambo, just down in engineering, just emerged and like dragged him into the darkness.
What? It was my free one. I get one every now and then.
Everyone can kill one.
You get a mulligan.
Oh. I get
This-
two. I get two if one of them's Cardassian because it's cultural.
Culture.
It's racist.
Ah. Have you met my brother?
She, as ever, does not take a seat, but stands with the chair behind her. It seems, this is not someone who is going, I'm standing and you sit and I'm in power. This is someone who's so wound up right now. There has been no post-battle sigh of relief from her. She is just tense. And she says, I am likely going to need a degree of assistance in finding the way to circumvent and put behind us the very delicate and unfortunate actions of the Tovos with Adam Strange in this regard.
She's saying that to Elrad, I assume.
Yeah,
like-
I assume
Yeah.
that's
Okay,
talking over
sorry.
the sad boy's
Yeah.
head.
Yeah.
I believe that outside of the circumstances of battle and emergency, it would be appropriate to review all systems logs, engineering operations. Certainly, what is sure is that Adam Strange was aboard. He's going to say Adam Strange. I'm not doing this full name bombing shit. Ensign Strange was aboard during the crisis, and Ensign Strange rendered assistance during the crisis. I cannot speak and will not speak for Ensign Strange or for Captain Athan. That would be weird if I ever spoke for Captain Athan. Why would I do that? But
Nothing I like.
I can't
But-
even do an impression of
can't
her.
even do an impression of her.
Oh, I'm Captain.
Oh, welcome to exterminate things in head Earth. But the Hackett expanse turns all sorts of systems, readings, technology to chaos. I am sure that if your chief engineer takes a close look at his initial findings, he may find that he should have been more diligent in his considerations, and such mundane errors, I'm sure an explanation as an apology will mean that this has to this can be something which simply remains in the Hackett expanse and its chaos.
I imagine that this will be the path undertaken by us as we seek to resolve this matter. But as we turn our attention once more to internal affairs and ahead of any meeting I will doubtlessly be having with Captain Athan in the near future, I, to you, Ensign Strange, would like to, at this moment, extend my apology.
Oh, thank you. And I hope we can move forward and identify exactly what it is that has happened with the Tovos.
That is my hope. And the uncovery of the truths of what has happened here, I think, may be in and of itself an enlightening route. With that in mind,
Yes.
it has become readily apparent to me that we are lacking key personnel and oversight of key areas that we must repair quickly and with the most skilled hands available. If there are any recommendations of the Iskandar's crew that would be able to be temporarily allowed to us while we investigate the true damage done here, I would be most inclined to hear those recommendations.
Would it be amenable, Galnido, then, if I and Ensign Strange took a look below and saw if there is any assistance that can be rendered?
Yes, and I think given we do not know the full extent of the internal damage to the Tovos, I will have to allow you free and unmitigated access.
I'm sure that's with both of us, with me there in the presence of other members of the crew. I think that under the circumstances, that is an acceptable compromise, and I'm sure that everyone would understand, Galnido.
Superb. I will, at this juncture, offer you another apology, for I cannot afford you the assistance of Glenville in this matter. The external damage is going to be his purview for the immediate future.
I see.
I'll definitely be of assistance at the very least, and whilst you know your way around ship systems, I think I can at least tell you where they are.
Yes, that is the main area in which I'm lacking and where things are on the Tovos.
And I thank you both, and I will leave you to your duty.
Thank you, Galnido. I appreciate your assistance and support and your diligent service on the battlefield.
The sentiment is returned.
Let's go. Let's go, lad. Lads,
Okay.
lads, lads.
Lads.
Lads. Yes.
Lads.
I know that Strange has definitely picked up on like the things unspoken in that issue of Command, but I would really love it if like he was then like, okay, well first of all we'll need to do a scan of this system and this system, and like doesn't read between the lines whatsoever.
I mean, to be honest, that probably is what he does, because like
Beautiful.
whilst yes, he has read between the lines. Like he's seen what's going on here. Politics is not something he ever wants to touch with a 20 light year barge pole.
I think Elrad will probably like point him in the
sec.
I think all Elrad's going to do is point him in the direction of like the log system, the initially damaged areas.
Meanwhile, they've just passed by sick bay and Arcady's gone full native. Like,
wait.
Welcome back. You were awaited.
Sorry, my nose was starting to run like a tap, and I didn't think you needed to see that.
Elrad's just going to start off by pointing him in the direction of like where the initial systems went wrong and where in any of the logging, what are the systems logs that we have, so we can actually identify what the fuck went wrong. Start at the beginning.
Let's start with, what systems logs do you have?
Yeah. What systems logs do you have and what went wrong first? Because Elrad doesn't know how to identify what actually fucking happened, but he does know where to tell the engineer to look and has hands.
Superb.
Let's go. In fact, given what Strange has seen before the explosion happened, we'll go look at the logs first. That's going to be fairly high on Stranger's priority list.
We will come back to you, and that is where we will kick off with team aboard the Tovos next session. I'm not wrapping up completely yet. Talandra, I imagine you would be reporting back to the Iskandar following all of that.
That was my instruction, yes.
Talandra.
Excellent.
God,
That was sorry. That was just me being tired, and when I'm tired, I do voices. Forgive me.
Yes,
When you're tired, you become Arkady.
When I'm tired, I become a whole host of people. I forget how to me.
So yeah, the situation.
Talandra goes back to Captain Athan.
Yeah. The situation as it stands, you have not yet spoken to the 3 individuals detained in the brig, but you have captives from one of the vessels.
To be fair, our priority right now is getting people and assistance over to the Tovos.
Yeah.
That's primarily it. So for the sake of sanity and Strange as being the engineer, I don't think Athan has much to say to Talandra other than like, go take this engineering team like we originally planned and ferry them over to the Tovos.
Yeah.
I'm not sure there's much of a, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Izzy, my vibe was, I don't think they've got much to say. Like, job good.
Unfortunately, Talandra is super practical and Athan's super practical. So she arrives, takes a pad, hands a pad, takes a pad, hands a pad, grabs a team, probably swaps out the shuttle she was on for a different shuttle. Yeah. Also speaks to Reyes, gets a pad, takes a pad.
Yeah.
So no nonsense.
Yeah, and so
just girl bosses being girl bosses.
Girl bosses, girl boss it up. And yeah, that engineering crew can get aboard the Tovos. I imagine we see we have a shot of Glyn Sotvel putting on the Cardassian equivalent of a spacewalking suit, scowling at the various Starfleet engineers, possibly
EV repair, bitch.
Talandra, from the position that she's on, overseeing the crew arriving from the shuttle, will make just absolute unerring eye contact with him, just until he goes back to what he's doing. Completely neutral. She's not death glaring him. She's just looking at him.
He looks like a man that is running out of warrens to crawl down. And yeah, I think unless there's anything that anyone wants to hop onto immediately, then this will be where we'll leave tonight's episode.
Wait, are Talandra and Arad not going to make out? Like,
it comes later, darling.
No, cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Leave people in suspense.
Will they or won't they?
Will they make
won't.
out?
No. No
suspense.
Once every 7
years.
What if they did?
No. Why would they do that?
But what if they did?
It's not logical.
I think
kissing isn't logical.
Kissing in this circumstance isn't logical. Why? They've got stuff to do. They're both working.
No. Will they have a brief but longing gaze at each other if you interpret
that is
in a certain way?
That is the more important.
That is the will they, won't they? It's not, kissing, no thank you.
Will they stand next to each other, but possibly if you interpret their body language a certain way, like maybe a little bit closer than they strictly need to?
Will I pore over every gif of their interactions and go, look, this clearly shows.
He mostly just had a serious face throughout the entire fight, but like, what about those extra frowns when he thought she was dead? Just.
Oh yeah. I know what I am. I'm the person that can watch a show I like that takes an hour and an episode takes 3 hours because I'm pausing and rewinding.
So with that straight baiting.
Straight baiting. I love it. It's all they deserve. We won't be having an episode next week. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time with maybe the conclusion of this. Maybe I'll keep it going for a little while longer. I think. Oh
no, there's some more ships. Get back in the shuttle, everyone. It's time to find more ships.
Yes, thank you very much for joining us for this week's episode of Star Trek Iskandar, The Midst of Chaos. I hand over now to Izzy.
No, I
do
hand it
not.
back. I hand it back.
I take it. I hold it. I nod in a I've got this way.
Good, I trust you.
I run past like the horrible goose I am and take it.
No,
It's
Kath.
gone now, forever.
Kath.
End it. Stop it. Bye. We love you all. Whatever.
Sign up to our Patreon. Give us money, you idiots.